Hello, and welcome to the Subby Zone. I'm Phil Subby. This is for mature audiences only, 18 and older, please. Today's episode is Algebra. Derive the quadratic formula by completing the square. A little bit about me is I'm Phil Subby, and I'm currently a substitute teacher, and I'm trying to get my math credential so I can teach math. I'm doing these videos because I want some practice teaching math, and I also want to do it my own way. That's why it's for mature audiences only. I like to cuss. Math to me calls for cussing. I think it's appropriate to cuss when you're doing math because it can get very frustrating, and sometimes it can get real dirty. That's how I like to treat it. All right, now enough about me. Let's start up the math. I'm gonna move this up. All right. So here we go. This is a quadratic equation, and this equals the quadratic formula right here. It's the quadratic formula. And we're going to prove that or derive that by completing the square of this. All right, so the first thing we want to do is we want to get this x alone. Okay, that's our number one goal. When I looked at this a few months ago, I've been reviewing math from high school so I can study for my exam to become a teacher. And I looked at this and I went, our teacher had us do it. And I went, well, I don't know how to do this. This seems too difficult. It seemed like, how am I supposed to do this? And then I started doubting myself, oh no, I'm a loser. I can't do this. This is regular algebra. I'm supposed to teach math, and I can't even do this problem. That what am I doing? I need to give up. I need to quit. I need to leave. I need to go into the manual labor business or just do anything else. That's how I felt. I graduated in psychology, and I can't do this math stuff. Get my BA in psychology. How am I supposed to do this math stuff? That's what I was thinking about when I saw this, and I kept trying to do it. I couldn't do it, and I just want to say, don't worry. It's not that bad. I did it a few times, and each time I did it, it became easier and easier. It just follows the same principles. The basic thing is you want to get that x alone. Get that x alone. You want to get that x hating himself. You want to get that x not wanting to hang out with the others. You want to get that x alone in his room, away from people, and you want him to not only be away from people, but to feel like he's doing the right thing by being away from people, because nobody wants him around anyways. That's what you want to make the X feel. You want to make the X make videos online doing math alone in his room, just so he can connect to people. That's what you want the X to feel. And so let's do that. So first we want to divide everything by A. Well, why A, you ask? Well, so we can get rid of this A and get this X more alone. And then so this becomes B over A X, and then C over A. Now we want to get this C over A on the other side of the equation, and so we just want to subtract it. Those cancel out. If you just subtract on this side of the equation, or on the equal sign, then you have to subtract on this side. So we get C over A. Now we got a little bit clearer. So there we go, x squared plus b ax. And then we got a space here, and that's going to be for completing the square. And then equals negative c over a. I'm gonna give us some more room. Now we have this, now this is the completing the square. So how do you complete the square? You just take half of b over a and then square it and add to both sides. So 1/2 times b over a equals b over 2a. And we're going to square that, and then we're going to add that on both sides. And then I'm just going to go ahead and square everything in here. So this is how you square everything. You just square everything in the parentheses. It's a C. Handwriting's awful. Alright, plus b squared over 4a squared. Alright, now this, we completed the square. So I shouldn't put that there. And then so we got x plus b over 2a. And at the end, I'll show you how this is equivalent to this. This is equivalent to this. Okay, so then that equals b squared. Now wait, I'm gonna combine these before I put this here. So make up space. So look, you have to combine these because it's adding fractions, and it's the same principle as adding numbered fractions. They're letters, but yeah. So you just need equivalent denominators. So how would you get an equivalent? What times a would equal 4a squared? Well, 4a, right? And then 4a over 4a equals 1, so you're not changing this fraction. You're just making it equivalent. So that would be negative 4ac over 4a squared, and then plus b squared over 4a squared. And then here we'll combine the fractions. So b squared minus 4ac, and then that's all over 4a squared. Okay, now our next step is we want to get this x alone, right? So we got to get this b over 2a on this other side, but how? Well, to get rid of this square, you square root it. You do the opposite, right? This is a square, you square root it. You do the opposite. Like doing the opposite of what you're supposed to do when you're alone in a room. You're supposed to go meet people, right? You're supposed to go out, make friends, and those kind of things. But instead, you make videos online. So you do the opposite, right? So that's a plus or minus. So once that square root's over there, and you get the plus or minus, we're pretty much there, So this goes away, all that goes away. Now what we got to do is we got to subtract this. This isn't a minus. This is just it's a line. It's like saying that they're equivalent. So we got to subtract this b over 2a. These go away, and this is minus b over 2a. Okay. All right. Now this next step is pretty cool. I'm really excited about this next step. Okay. So the next step is, if you look at this, right? Look at 4a squared. Doesn't that strike you as weird? It can be square rooted. Everything in there could be square rooted, 4 and a squared. So, but this is too complicated. So we do this plus or minus square root of b squared minus 4ac, and then all this is squared, so this would be 2a, and then we got negative b over 2a. And then you'll notice something, these are equivalent denominators. So it doesn't matter, either you plus the square root or you subtract the square root, it's always going to be equivalent denominators. So let's connect that all up, and then scribble all that, and make this 2a. There you go, isn't that nice? And then what does it equal? That lonely x. But see, this x isn't so lonely, is it? B is the answer. All right, now I wanted to show you why x plus b over 2a squared is equivalent to that. So let's check it out. X plus b over 2a, and you distribute a property times everything by there, which so that equals x squared plus b over 2a x plus b over 2ax plus 4a squared, and then we'd be like, huh, those don't look right, do they? So these don't look right, right? Combine those up, we got 2b over 2a x, right? You're like, oh, wait a second, that's equivalent. That's not equivalent to b over a x, right? That's what was supposed to be equivalent, right? Right, Phil? Huh? Wait, check it out. If these divide out, it is equivalent. You see that, motherfucker? You can do math, huh? You can do math. And now you can too. Thank you so much for listening. I really, really appreciate it. I hope you're real. And next week, we'll be plugging in stuff into this quadratic formula. We'll be plugging it in and getting answers. Isn't that beautiful? Isn't that wonderful? So excited. Just don't leave me.